Welcome back to the Astro Experience, bro. Don't mind my little recliner in the back. Yes, I got a recliner in my backyard. No, I don't give a fuck. Okay. Um, but Taurus sun signs, okay? First and foremost, I'm gonna give you the energetic breakdown of the archetype of Taurus, okay? So when it comes to Taurus, they are a fixed earth sign ruled by Venus, okay? The moon is exalted in Taurus, meaning that it's at its highest point within Taurus. Okay. Um, Taurus is opposite to Scorpio, therefore Mars is debilitated within Taurus. Okay. Pluto is debilitated within Taurus as well. Okay. Now, it's also a feminine sign. Okay, because your earth signs and your water signs are feminine, and then your fire and your air signs are masculine. All right. So, with it being an earth sign, earth is about the five senses. It's about what you can see, what you can touch. It's about practicality, reality, okay? What's actually real, what actually matters, okay? Matter, what's actually solid, okay? Being fixed is about being not necessarily stuck, although it can get to that point, but being fixed is being stable, is being grounded, is being solid, it's in one spot, unchangeable, unmovable. Okay. So it's a fixed earth sign ruled by Venus. Okay. Venus is about love, harmony, value. Okay. What do you value? It's about pleasures as well. What gives you pleasure, whether that's physically, mentally, or emotionally. All right. The moon is exalted in Taurus, meaning that the moon loves being in Taurus. The moon is about your emotions. It's about your subconscious. It's about connecting emotionally as well. Mars is debilitated in Taurus. Mars is about your willpower, passion, motivation, desire. Okay, it's about your direction. Okay. Pluto is also debilitated within Taurus. Pluto is about deep transformation. It's about alchemy. It's about life and death, rebirth. Okay. So when you bring all of those different elements together, you get Taurus. Okay. The Taurus energy is about being fixed, practical, stable, slow moving, but also valuing sensual pleasures. Okay. Tauruses don't necessarily like change like that because Pluto is about deep transformation. It's about emotional alchemy and healing as well. So a lot of times Taurus energy can get too fixed and too stuck in their own ways and not allow any change to come in their life, okay? So when you bring that into your sun sign, when you bring all of those elements, that Taurus archetype into your sun sign, now I'm going to explain what your sun sign is, okay? Your sun sign basically represents your ego, okay? Or your identity, okay? The sun gives us life. It gives us light. It illuminates what we see, okay? It illuminates this physical realm. So the sun in astrology represents what you see. It represents your physical body as well. It represents your light body, okay? Because yeah, this body is physical, but it's also a light body. It's a light vehicle for our soul to move through and express itself in this physical realm, okay? So your sun is basically your actions. It's what you pay attention to. It's your consciousness as well as your core, okay? Your core identity. So once you get all of those Taurus elements into your sun sign, you're going to act stable, okay? Your actions are going to be very practical, very stable. You're going to be focused on foundation. You're also going to be very tapped into your physical senses as well, okay? Because Venus is here. So Tauruses naturally like the finer things in life. They like Earth mixed with Venus. So they love valuing physical pleasures. This is exactly what can make them bougie, okay? They love luxurious things. They like nice fabrics. They like nice smells. They like going to the best restaurants. They like looking the best. They like dressing up, presenting themselves in a certain way, okay? Um their physical body may also be very strong, okay? A lot of Tauruses that I know, they have very strong presences. Even if they're not in the gym or anything like that, their bodies are just naturally built. They're naturally strong. That's something that I've noticed, okay? Um, but yeah, with them being a fixed sign as well, they're gonna they can be very stubborn. Okay, they can be absolutely stubborn. Stubborn to the point where nobody can change their mind because they're already a fixed earth sign, and then Pluto is debilitated here. So off bat, they're not gonna like to change at all unless they see fit. And this is very powerful because once a Taurus makes up their mind, nothing can move them off of that, okay? Nothing can change them off of that. But they have to make that conscious choice for themselves, all right? Something else I want to touch on. Okay, the second house also rules Taurus, all right? The second house is about values. It's about physical possessions, and it's about money, okay? So this is exactly why Tauruses also love money. Tauruses have the ability to work very hard if they see fit, okay? Because what I've noticed also is a lot of Tauruses, they look externally for reasons to be motivated because Mars is also debilitated here. Mars is your passion, willpower, and motivation. So a lot of times Tauruses can externalize their passion, their power, and their motivation. So they look to the outside world for reasons to be motivated instead of coming up with that reason for themselves, okay? Tauruses have a hard time generating their own passion, their own willpower, and their own motivation. They have trouble sparking that initially. But what I found is that once Tauruses really get the ball rolling, the ball rolling, they're unstoppable, even if Mars is debilitated here. That just means that it can be harder to start things, okay? But once things are started and they're in a routine, in a flow, once they have a discipline and a structure and a schedule, it's hard to get them off of that, okay? That can be very negative. That can also be very positive. It just depends on what fucking actions and what habits you have and what patterns you have as well, okay? But yeah, Tauruses are very strong. They're very stable. These people are very reliable as well. It's insanely reliable. And they're absolutely loyal, okay? The moon is exalted in Taurus. So off bat, they're going to be very personable people. They may not seem like that on a surface level because if you're a Taurus sun, you're going to seem very fixed. You're going to seem very stable, and you might not seem emotional like that, but Tauruses are very emotional. They just might not show that, or they only show that to the people that's closest in their lives because the moon is exalted there, okay? The moon also deals with your very close, intimate relationships, their very close, intimate emotions, okay? And usually we only share those aspects of us with people who are very close to us, like I said, right? So Tauruses are insanely loyal, bro. Fixed earth sign. If you need anything, they're there, okay? Moon is exalted there. If they feel very deeply for you, they're there every single time, okay? But Tauruses also have that switch, okay? Because they are so practical and they are so logical. If they see that it makes more sense for you not to be in their life, that's it. You're done. You're cut, okay? And you're gonna feel that. You're gonna fucking feel that shit. But yeah, Taurus energy is very strong, very, very stable. You can rely on these people for anything, bro. But a lot of times it can get overwhelming to Tauruses because they play that role for a lot of people in their life, okay? Just like Capricorns, all right? So, um, Tauruses are also ruled, Tauruses are also symbolized by the bull, okay? Bulls are very headstrong. They go headfirst into their challenges, but they also can be very lazy, honestly. Like if you've ever seen a bull is just a fucking male cow. Cows love laying around and lounging around and shit. Okay? So bulls can be extremely lazy, but they can also fuck you up. Honestly, they can also ram through a wall. So this really also goes to show that whatever a Taurus wants to put their mind to is done. It's as good as done, bro. But Taurus says that they genuinely want to do something and they put their energy behind that, is damn near as good as done, bro. And it's like that with every Taurus I see in my life, okay? Let's see. Anything else I want to touch on with the Taurus energy? Foundation, stability, practicality, and money as well. A lot of times Tauruses can be too fixed on money. They can care too much about fucking money. They can care too much about physical, tangible things, all right? So a lot of times detachment is what these people need to learn. Specifically, detachment from physical resources. You don't have to have everything at once. You don't have to seem like you have everything figured out to actually be comfortable within your life. Sometimes life already has built-in safety mechanisms or structured mechanisms, if that makes sense. So there may be a month where you may feel like you're not able to pay your bills, but sometimes if you just let go and trust in God, trust in source, trust in whatever you believe in, it's always going to work out. All right? Sometimes Tauruses lack faith within the unseen because they are so physically dominated. They pay a lot of attention to the physical world and what they can do practically, okay? So this leads to not taking into account the spiritual aspect of things, all right? Sometimes Tauruses can lack faith, they can lack trust, they can lack connection if it gets to that point. And they can focus too much on physical shit, all right? This can also make them materialistic, and that can rub the people in their lives the wrong way. But once a Taurus really learns how to let go of control and things like that, because like I said, Pluto is also debilitated here, so a lot of times they can feel like they're not in control of their life, which can also cause them to over need security and stability. So, but once they learn how to control and trust a little bit more, Tauruses are really unstoppable. But yeah, Taurus energy really just needs to learn how to trust, open up their mind, become comfortable within uncomfortability as well, because Tauruses value comfortability so much to the point where it can be debilitating for them in their lives, bro. Like sometimes you genuinely need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, okay? And this also ties back into why Mars is debilitated here as well. Mars is about finding a goal and going straight toward it, no matter how you feel or no matter if you're uncomfortable or not. A lot of times Tauruses can lack that. A lot of times Tauruses can make life force them to move in a certain path. Tauruses can be blind to the signs that life is showing them because they can be so hard-headed and so stubborn. So this is also what makes Tauruses learn very hard lessons, because let's say you're in a fucked up relationship, right? For example, let's say you're in a fucked up relationship and this person has shown you time and time again that you shouldn't be with them, right? Tauruses are so stubborn to the point where they're gonna wait till that person does some crazy shit, or they're gonna wait until there's a point in time where they can't be together no more to actually accept that that's not a good relationship for them to be in, okay? Instead of just taking those signs that they see, oh, maybe this person isn't the best, instead of just taking that, they wait until it's undeniable, okay? So that's what Tauruses need to learn as well. Really taking those signs and hints from the universe too, okay? But yeah, that's Taurus Suns in a nutshell, you feel me? Add my Instagram link in bio. All of my links should be in my bio. I have free PDF guides on understanding the different phases of the moon, as well as a transit map for the next 3 months based on your personal rising sign, okay? All of my astrological services, link in bio. The ultimate planetary guide I just dropped. Go check that out. Discount code is galactic, okay? All of my other services, link in bio. But without further ado, I'll catch y'all next video.